So I just got done making bread and putting it in the oven. Since I have a few more minutes, it's not even 6 o'clock yet, so I'm gonna make some starter for a friend. So this is the starter I got out of the refrigerator yesterday. So it's cold, but you can see it's still nice and bubbly in there. Nice and bubbly there on the bottom. So I'm gonna open it up, get that ready. Turn my scale on, I'm gonna put my bowl on. Now I'm only making a small batch, so put my bowl on, zero my scale. Need a spoon here. Okay, now my recipe is calls for 30 grams of starter. So I'm gonna put 30 grams of starter in here. That is way too much. So I'll take some out. Some people do like measure, but I feel like weighing is, even though it's not an exact science, it just gets you a much better product. You can see the starter is very sticky. Still not to 30. I'm used to doing the 60 method, so I put way too much in here. No problem. Oh, look at that, real close. So now we're at 27. If I put this little bit back in here, I'm gonna be close to 30. 30 on the nose. Okay, I'm gonna close this back up. That will go back in the refrigerator. Okay, now my recipe calls for 125 grams of water, so I'm zeroing my scale by pressing the on button. And now we want 125 grams of water. Now when I make bread, it can go up to 109 as a temperature. But when I'm making starter out of the refrigerator, I don't like it to be any warmer than like 102, 103. There we go. That's 126, still okay. I'm gonna mix this up. And you'll see with the warm water and the starter, I usually use a bigger bowl for my, when I'm making starter, a taller, more narrow bowl. But it's in the dishwasher, so I'm not using that right now. And I'm only making a very small starter. This starter that I'm making, the 30 gram, 125 grams of water and 135 of bread flour will actually make the 2 loaf recipe that I'm just videotaping. So you can see it's mixed up pretty good. There's a few chunks in there, but you're fine. You're gonna be fine. There's some chunks in there, but it's mostly liquid. That's when you know you're ready to go to the next level. Now I'm gonna zero out my scale, and I'm gonna put in 135 grams of bread flour. That's 136. 1 over isn't gonna make a difference. Now I'm gonna stir it up. And no use for the scale, so I'm gonna turn it off and get it out of my way. Once I stir it up, oh, Rocket wants some treats out of the closet, the pantry. Okay, now, just so you can see the consistency here, you can see it's almost like a very thick paste. So I'm going to use this, cover it up, and we'll check back in 24 hours. I'm gonna put it on my stove, and in 24 hours, that should have doubled.